Hello! So today we are taking a visit over to the DML Wiki to the Heaven and Hades event guide, and I'm already on level 4 personally. A few people are already on level 6, to you lucky guys out there that keep getting the chests or keep getting the keys on your first chest. But we are going to be going through what the required elements or allowed elements are for every level, and sort of an idea of what the maps look like on every level as well. So first of all, we are starting on level 4. And you can see here that the allowed elements are mostly shadow, light, and metal. But the thing is, shadow is available in every fight, light is available in every fight as well, so if you have something like, I don't know, a Tyzenran, you are going to be well set in this event. And then moving on to the level 4 map, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. You can see that the tile costs are getting quite a bit higher in some circumstances. But mainly the problem is if you can't do the fights on these levels, they're starting to cost like 650 event tokens. And another thing to note is, I mentioned it before that the chest costs are different compared to normal, and some of the chests cost less than others. And on level 4, if you go to the top left-hand chest, that chest costs 1,000 event currency to open. Or if you go to the bottom half of the map, the other 3 chests at the bottom only cost 200 event currency to open up. So ideally, you would want to avoid the top half section of the map at all costs, because the tiles are super expensive and the chests are super expensive as well. So open up all of the other chests first before you go up to the top. So that is level 4. I'm sorry that the actual levels don't have the map itself, they're just sort of outlines, but it works better like that if you're trying to actually look at it as well. So then we move on to level 5, and you can see that the allowed elements has gone down to mostly just 2. And on level 5, the main element that you're going to see is light. There's a lot of shadow fights still, but there are certain fights that are mainly light and metal still. So level 5 I think is going to be the toughest level by far for most people, because not many people have light and not many people have metal and void still to this day, even though they've been buffed. So level 5 is going to be a little bit of a doozy. And so then if we check out the level 5 map, again we're going to have to zoom out a bit here because this map is huge, but the chest costs are ranging from 1125, so 1125 in the bottom left. We've got a 125 chest in the middle, 375 chest, 375 chests in the bottom right, and a 500 cost chest at the top. So again, stick to the bottom right hand side of the map, avoid the top left hand side, and hope to God that you can do the fights, because otherwise it's 850 per fight, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. And then finally, level 6. So shadow is available in every fight but one of them, where light is available. So again, any Tyzenran users, you are going to be super duper happy with yourselves. But one thing to note is that we only have 2 elements mainly for these fights still, and no divine for any of these fights, unlike the other divine events that we've had. But you will be facing a lot of divine dragons on level 6, so it's gonna be tough if your dragons aren't at the right levels. And then finally, moving on to the level 6 map here, you can see, well, sort of see just how expensive some of these tile costs are. So we have certain tiles here that are 2,793 event currency. And so the only way to avoid having to spend an absolutely extortionate amount of event currency on tiles is to do the fights. And like I've been saying all along, it is much cheaper to go ahead and do the battles than it is to skip them. You should always go through the battling route, because otherwise you are not going to be able to finish off this event. So then we look at the chest costs, and actually the costs of the chests on this level are apparently cheaper than on level 5 for some reason. But we have a chest that's 450 chest in the bottom left, and then we have a 600 chest, 600 chest, and 900 cost chest. So this event in particular has been super weird about the chest costs. I don't know why, but this is how they've decided to do it. So, you know, whatever. You know, they've decided that they're gonna make the actual tile costs a bit cheaper, but make the chests also cheaper in certain areas as well. I don't know, maybe they're trying to make it so that you have to use things like the DML Wiki if you want to have a good idea of what path to take, but it is essential that you follow these maps, use them to your advantage, and only go to the cheapest ones first if you want to guarantee that you're going to get the Hermes Dragon. So, those are all the maps. Those are all of the allowed elements. So, if you had any questions about that, that is how it is for right now. But do also remember that at the top of the event pages, it does also list how many points you can get for breeding for different combinations. So, if you're someone that's like, what's the best combination that I can use to get 300 points? Then you can have a look, and it will show you what dragons are best for getting 300 points. And then you can go to food, and you can go, what's the best food that I can use? Then you can go, hey look, spring cherries per 15 farms, you can generate 281 event tokens per hour. So that means spring cherries overall that take an hour are one of the better foods, along with 6-hour foods if you just want to keep on schedule. And it also tells us what the minimum stone requirements and maximum stone requirements are. And so the minimum stone requirements for this whole event is apparently 35,942 for level 6, and the maximum amount required is 95,000. And if you have to go with 95,000, there is no way in hell you're completing the event. So that's why using the wiki and all of this information on these event pages is so important. This is what I use, this is what all the good guys use. If you're not using it, that's probably why you're not finishing off these events. And when you've got Chrono, Hades, and the Hermes Dragon potentially there to get, you need to use everything to your absolute advantage. So, that is everything that I wanted to go through for now. I will try and link this, but the only problem is YouTube doesn't do too well with brackets, so the link doesn't work properly in some places, but, this is the page. If you want to know how to get to it, go to the main page of the DML Wiki, scroll down, look at the Heaven and Hades page, click on it, and then it will take you to the event page. It is literally that simple, and this will help you out a lot, so do it! But anyway, guys, for now, thank you for joining me. Thank you to all the wiki staff and the uploaders. Obviously, we appreciate all the work and effort that you put in to making these. I used to make maps myself, and it took a lot of effort and dedication, so I'm glad that someone else out there has also done it for us. So, for now, thank you guys, and until next time, I will see you then.